The Enchanted Holy City, the beginnings of Benin, 1180. In context, location, Kingdom of Benin, Nigeria. Before, 1st millennium BC, the ancestors of the Edo or Bini people of Benin began to migrate south from the confluence of the Niger and Benue rivers to forests in what is now southern Nigeria. There they intermixed with the aboriginal Ifa people. Circa 500 BC, the city of Ife is founded by the Yoruba people and dominates the southwestern Nigeria region in the late 1st millennium AD. After 1440, Oba El-Ware the Great ascends the Benin throne. He goes on to develop Benin City as a fortified capital and the center of an expanding empire. Circa 1485, Portuguese traders begin to visit Benin City. 1897, British troops sacked Benin City and colonized Benin. The emergence of Benin as a dominant West African kingdom is a story of two dynasties, the Agizo and Oba. Across 3 centuries, roughly 900 to 1200 AD, they set Benin on a path toward becoming a distinct and powerful West African empire that from the late 15th century would forge trading links with European colonizing nations, particularly Portugal. The Kingdom of Benin began as a collection of small, mainly agricultural settlements west of the Niger River. In around 900, to protect one another from external threats and improve their trade relationships, these settlements banded together, some of them coalescing to eventually form Benin City. At the head of the kingdom was the Ogiso, meaning king from heaven. According to Benin oral history, the first Ogiso was Igodo, who gave his name to the early kingdom called Igodomigodo. The reign of Owodo, the last Ogiso, was a long course of misrule, failure, and anxiety. Jacob U. Egareba, Benin historian, 1883 to 1981. Changing of the dynasties. In Benin's oral history, the Ogiso dynasty ended in the early 12th century when Owodo, a weak ruler, was disposed and banished. The kingdom was replaced with a republic headed by Evian, a high-ranking member of the Ifa ethnic group, the original settlers of Benin. They had intermarried with the Edo people, immigrants from the Niger-Benue River confluence who had come to dominate the region. Benin at this time was ruled by both Ifa and Edo representatives. The former controlled areas of Benin in which people of Ifa ancestry lived, and the latter, known as the Edo Nevbo, a council of Edo chiefs, commanded the rest of the kingdom. As Evian neared the end of his long rule, he tried to found his own dynasty by naming his son Ogiamien as a successor. This angered the Edo Nevba, who are afraid of losing their influence. Seeking a neutral ruler whom they could more easily control, they sent a delegation to the neighboring kingdom of Ife to ask its king, Oduduwa, to send one of his sons to govern them. Oduduwa agreed on condition that the son be kept safe and sent the young prince Oranmian, accompanied by retinue, to Benin. After defeating Ogiamin and his supporters in battle, Oranmian married an Edo woman called Urinmuide and had a son Awika. Around 1200, Oranmian abdicated, frustrated at the influence widened by the Edo Nevba. Believing that only a king educated from a young age in Edo history and culture could effectively rule the Edo people, he left Awika behind to become the first king or Oba of a new dynasty. By the end of the from kingdom to empire, the Obas gradually cemented their power, expanding the kingdom's boundaries and building Benin City into an impressive capital with a royal palace and an intricate street system. They also exploited Benin's position close to the Niger River, the coast, and the other West African kingdoms to develop trading routes, dealing goods such as ivory, pepper, and animal skins. The Obas' control over the region reached its height in the 15th and 17th centuries, when the empire extended west as far as present-day Ghana and sustained close trading links with European seagoing powers. Ife's influence on Britain. The history of Benin and the Edo people is inextricably tied to the neighboring Yoruba-speaking people and their capital, Ife. A wealthy and regionally dominant state, developed Ife from about 700 CE and reached its height between 900 and 1200. Ife, like Benin City, grew rich on a trade with other Africans and became a center for craft workers in cloth, wood, and metals. They were particularly renowned for their casting of bronze sculptures, in fact made from brass. When the Benin governing classes faced a dynastic crisis in the 12th century, they looked to the well-established power of Ife and its ruler, the Uni, for help. Ife's gift was a new monarch, or Oba, who, like the Uni, was a spiritual as well as a ruling figurehead with a direct link to the gods. The love of Ife's Unis for elaborate metal sculptures also became part of Benin culture.